Alright, all you flight takers and road trip makers out there, welcome back to the Indy Radio Arcade. And now it's time for us to go into another edition of the $64,000 question. And we asked you last week, before we get into this week's question, for $64,000, maybe even $128,000, would you dress up as a bunny of any type and sing a classic rendition remix form of the Easter songs of yesteryear, or any song with the word hop or jump in it? And several of you out there would sound off pretty good on this one and would say the following: what type of traditional Easter song we can do? And another person would say, this is probably the sanest challenge you come up with it yet, and can I do Jump Around by House of Pain? And the last person would save me answering the question of the guy prior by doing not only House of Pain's Jump Around, but also Criss Cross's Jump Jump, then would do Naughty by Nature's Hip Hop Hooray, and would go into a litany list of different songs with the word jump and hop in it. And according to the maestro, for each time he did a song, he earned well over $64,000 for it. And since he did 10, congratulations, you're going home with $640,000. And to the first person, I think the only traditional Easter song I know of besides Let's All Do the Hop is most likely, I'm trying to think of it now. I think it was Here Comes Peter Cottontail, the only Easter songs we know of. And with those questions properly answered, folks, we now go into this week's $64,000 question, where we asked you for upwards of well over $128,000 to $256,000, since it's a two-parter question. Would you fly in any plane of your choosing with the cast of Con Air on board as employees of the plane? And that even includes John Malkovich being a stewardess during this flight. That would make it interesting. And the second part to this $64,000 question that has been doubled is, would you, in a cross-country tour around the United States, drive with Cheech and Chong on one of their crazy adventures from any of the movies they've been in the past 10 years? And that does include next movie, Nice Dreams and Still Smoking. But before you answer those questions at home, folks, or even try to take on both of them at once, you're gonna have to wait another 2 weeks there, high flyers, because the maestro's currently rolling out the machines, which means it's time for us to bring the Indy Radio Arcade for this week to an emphatic close. But don't worry, if you missed any of this 8-bit goodness for this week, we got you covered, because you can catch the show again one more time, all the time, on our SoundCloud, Facebook, or even Tumblr pages, named the same, only known as Music Village Radio, under the hashtag Indy Radio Arcade Lvl.103. And apparently that's the amount of wizard caps the Rain Wizard or Pinball Wizard owns in his house. And he decided to give me one for making it to this third of a milestone in the hundreds. Nice! And if you guys want to figure out what the crazy and zany things that we still got prepared for these remaining days of this month of Fools, heading directly into the month of the arcade, aka known as our Maycation, like a wizard cap that I'm gonna most likely wear as a nightcap to go to sleep in the morning, you can go ahead and check it out on our Twitter/YouTube pages, still named the same, only known as the Double Agent 012. And before we go out for the night, we would like to thank, as always, you the contestants out there for listening into another 8-bit month-ending foolhardy edition of the Indy Radio Arcade. And And we would also like to thank you, the independent artists out there, for delivering that musical goodness like you always do. And keep up the great work, guys. And also, if you could do a cover of any of the songs featured in those Cheech and Chong movies, or even be featured during that flight playing Sweet Home Alabama, we'll triple the amount of the money just for you guys out there. And speaking of people who requires triple of anything, including credit, we would like to thank our musical guest for the night, none other than Technoax with his song, Basic Wobble Fest, that was featured during the intro for this week's edition of the Indy Radio Arcade. And as always, Technoax, keep up the great work, and we can't wait to hear what you got coming down the tubes next. And finally, last but not least, we would like to thank you, the independent gamers out there, for coming out with all those sweet, sweet video game hits, clips, and high scores we had a chance to mention during this week's show. And like always, guys, keep those games coming, keep up the great work, and we can't wait to see what sort of cool games and high scores you decide to beat or come up with next. So keep them coming. This is what keeps the show lights on. And I guess with the creepy janitor giving us that look to vamoose while turning off the lights to reveal a cool glow-in-the-dark wizard cap that he got from the pinball wizard, I'm DJ Smokey on behalf of the maestro for this month of fools for this show, saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. And we would like to thank you for playing another month-ending, foolhardy 8-bit edition of the Indy Radio Arcade. We're finished, man. We're done. Game over, man. Game over. And good night, everybody.